In our earlier clip, we indicated an advantage work orders have over kits is the finished product, assembly, plated material, etc. can be built in stock. Note, there is an important issue that needs to be taken care of in advance. The process may require an override. If you have the necessary permissions, you can proceed. Otherwise, check with your branch manager and request a temporary password allowing you to authorize the override if it should occur. To set up, you will use work order processing. Access work order processing using the F3 function key followed by K. Enter new as the order ID. Press enter and identify the branch. Hit enter through the date and enter a description for the template. Hit enter and you will be asked for the process, F10 for the options, followed by the vendor name, which is the company performing the work. The vendor could be your branch if you're building the finished product in-house. Optionally, the number of days can be entered, but costs and lot are usually bypassed by hitting enter until you get to the material detail screen or to press Alt-M material. The material detail screen allows you to specify the component products and the quantities needed to build the finished product. The quantity out represents the items to be assembled or coded, optionally including an item for charges. Quantity in represents the assembled or coded product. Enter the quantities to be coded or assembled, including the optional charge items. If you have a charge item, then position the cursor on the item and then to press Alt-S schedule. If the work order is only an assembly, the procure process is not needed. To press Alt-P procure, enter the quantity you are procuring and hit escape. Escape back to the work order entry screen. Make a note of the work order number, WOO, when prompted. Enter the freight terms, PPD, then escape out. If your procurements are managed by a district administrator, then leave the procurement to the administrator. If not, you will need to get with your buyer or branch manager to complete the procurement. Now to pick the material and send it to the company to do the work, or if you're doing in-house, you will need to re-access the work order, F3K, to press Alt-V, view, and select status. Tab over to the status column and enter I for in process. Reply yes to the prompt. If you see this message, you do not have the authority to overcommit inventory and will need to get with your manager for a temporary password. If you see this message, you do have the ability to overcommit inventory. You can reply yes to overcommit. If you're RF enabled for work order picking, the work order will be pulled by the gun. Otherwise, the final prompt asks about printing the work order. Always reply yes. This creates the work order ticket so the warehouse can pull the material to be delivered or sent to the vendor. So the final phase is to process the procurement purchase order when the coded or assembled products is received. Receive as normal and use Alt-C close to close the charge item from the in process. Re-access the work order entry screen and bring up the work order. If the status column is not displayed, to press Alt-V view and select status option. Tab over to the status column and change to complete. Enter the reason and, when prompted, the bill of lading. Completing the work order sends the coated or assembled product to the RF gun for put away.
Beep beep.